Hello, welcome to my kitchen here at Trails End 62. Going to do a little bit of something today with dehydration. We're going to dehydrate some peppers. Peppers, onions, probably some of the most simplest things to dehydrate. There's not a lot to it, so it won't take very much. We're going to do some peppers today. And I've got just a small garden this year. I call it a kitchen garden. I've got 4 pepper plants. And one of those is jalapeno, which means, you know, it's going to be different from the other 3. The other 3 are sweet peppers. One of them is a cubanero. I've got a green bell pepper, and then I've got a purple bell pepper. And so I like peppers in a lot of things, and I put peppers in almost everything I cook because I like peppers. And sometimes, even with just a few pepper plants, you get more peppers than you know what to do with because you just simply can't eat them all at once. And you can put them in the refrigerator. They'll stay for a little while. I have green bags that I use to put my produce in the refrigerator, and it makes it keep longer. Nevertheless, you still need to use it within a reasonable amount of time. Sometimes when you have a lot of peppers, you don't have a lot of time. So I do different things. Most years I plant a big garden. I plant a lot of pepper plants. I have canned peppers and I have frozen peppers and I have dehydrated peppers. Dehydrating is by far the best way that I found because I like it better and it's more versatile and the storage space is less. What I generally do is I keep a jar of dehydrated peppers on my counter along with my dehydrated onions. And then when I need them, they're right there for me to use. I store more elsewhere in sealed packages, and then I'll add to it when I need it. Frozen peppers, I've frozen some peppers, froze a lot of peppers. They take up room in the freezer. Something happens to your freezer, electric goes out, and you may lose some peppers. But they don't take up a lot of room, but they do take up some room. And then, of course, when you get them out, you've got ice on them. You've got to break them apart to use what you need. And then you've got to store them till you use them after they've thawed out. But I do freeze some because the frozen pepper gives you that fresh pepper taste when you use it. The other thing I do is I can peppers. I can them in small jars like this. And I canned a lot of these peppers one year. And I've still got some. I think 2016, I'm still using them. So that cans, it was a lot of peppers, and because I had frozen peppers to use in the meantime, fresh peppers to use in the meantime, and dehydrated peppers to use in the meantime. But these are cooked, and that's the difference. So when you use them, if you need to put some peppers in something that you're just going to heat up or something like that, these are already cooked. If you like the fresh pepper taste, crunchiness of the fresh pepper or something, frozen peppers are a good way to go. Or you can cook those as you do them. Dehydrated peppers you can put into stews and soups. You can put them straight in as they are, if you know in the right proportion, because they will expand as they cook, because they'll draw moisture from whatever the soup or stock is that you've got in there. Or you can rehydrate them in water about 20 minutes before you need to use them, and you use them just like fresh peppers. Drain them, and you use them like fresh peppers. So I do have some frozen peppers that I've already done this year, and these are some bell peppers, purple peppers, and cubanero peppers that I've already frozen. I dice them up the same as when I dehydrate them. These are some jalapeno peppers because I do have one jalapeno pepper plant. I dice them up a little smaller because I don't need as big of chunks when I cook with those. And I've got some jalapenos. I've got some others ready to go. Got some green peppers, got some cubanero peppers, and that's quite a bit of peppers there, and I need to do something with them, so I'm going to dehydrate them. So we're going to show you how to dehydrate them. Like everything, the first thing you do, of course, is you've got to cut the pepper up. You've got to take the insides out, take the seeds out, take the pith out. That's the bell pepper, the cubanero pepper. You know, these are thinner walled, so you got to remember when you dehydrate these, they're probably gonna do faster than something like this, which has got a thicker wall. These are going to take a little longer. So when you put them on the dehydrator, you want to keep it on a separate shelf, because if you mix peppers, some thin, some thick, that way then you have a different dehydration times. So you can just do it as long, if you do mix them, you just do it as long as the thickest one, and you can do that. So we're going to dehydrate some peppers today. It's really simple. Like I said, you deseed them, take the pith out of them, and then you chop them up. I do my peppers usually at a 1/2 inch, and I use a chopper to do that. You can slice them. You can dehydrate slices. You can chop them up by hand. If you're more comfortable doing that, then chop them up by hand. If you don't chop them up, you can simply leave them in strips. Some people do them that way, but I use all my peppers chopped. So I chop them all up. And it's actually very simple. I use this handy dandy chopper here. It's got a container in the bottom of it. Got a 1/2 inch chopping blade here, or it's got the smaller one down here, the 1/4 inch, which I use for my jalapenos. And it's relatively easy to use. You just simply put it on there, chop it up, and you've got to get all your peppers chopped if you're going to chop them for dehydration. And once you get them chopped up, then we'll put them on the tray. So I'm going to finish chopping these up, and then we'll be right back with the trays. Now here I've got 2 trays of the cubanegas that I've got diced up. I just have a little bit left over, so I'll mix those with the bell peppers. And I just put them on here, and I just kind of spread them out by hand when I put them on here, kind of make them just one layer thick. Doesn't have to be perfect, because they will go ahead and dry. It just may take a little longer sometimes. And you need to check and rotate your tray, especially if you're using this kind of dehydrator. This particular one is a bottom dehydrator, and where the heat comes up from the bottom and flows through here. And my other one is a top dehydrator. This one has adjustable temperature, and but I use it because I like the center of it where it keeps stuff from falling down. Don't have to put anything in there. Now the other thing you need to do is you need to have some sort of mat in there, because the trays slots, that you don't want stuff as it dries falling down through the trays. And these mats, one of these came with the dehydrator, and these here I made from craft fabric that I bought at Walmart. It's got holes in it, you can see. It's used, I think, for like needlepoint or something like that, crafty stuff. It wasn't quite wide enough, so I had to cut a little supplement deal to lay in there on top of it so it'll be round and fit my dehydrator. But they were a whole lot cheaper buying these and making them myself than they were buying the actual ones for the dehydrator. The holes are a little bit smaller in this one, but the point is that the air will come up through the trays, and so it will dehydrate. They do a very good job. I've used them for a lot. And I'm going to cut up the rest of, or chop up the rest of these peppers and do some more trays. So it looks like I'm going to have 3 trays of peppers. They'll dehydrate. They won't make very much. I won't even fill a little jar like this. It takes a lot of peppers to do that because they reduce down so much. But that's okay. The peppers won't go bad. I'll just put them on there. It just takes a little bit of work. I'll put them on the dehydrator, and anywhere from 6 to 18 hours. I know it's a long stretch. Depends on the humidity, the temperature, the moisture in the peppers. So anybody that tells you an exact time when you're dehydrating something, maybe for them that works, but each dehydrator is different. You have to do it according to what you see. So there is a broad time frame for dehydrating, and I will put these on more than likely with just the 3 of them in my dehydrator. It won't take that long to dehydrate. So it's just about noon now, and so I'm thinking probably 6, 7 o'clock tonight I'll look at them and see where we're at, and probably get these done before I go to bed. Alright, there it is. I've got it set. This is my adjustable temperature one. It's set on about 130. And we'll let it go for about 6 hours and see what it looks like. It's got the lid on it here. Covered up the 3 trays. We'll have some dehydrated peppers. Well, we finished up our pepper dehydrating about 10:15 last night. And basically what I do is I'll empty them out into a bowl. I happen to have some big bowls like this. I put the tray in, empty them out in. Then I let them cool a little bit before I put them in a container. And here we have, this is basically what we got from 3 trays. You open that up. You smell them peppers are strong. So anyway, we let that cool. We'll let it sit here for a day or two to make sure that it's all good and dry. And then we'll seal it up in a sealed container. Of course, this is sealed, but it's not sealed for storage. But it's sealed enough to let it keep any air or moisture out, and we'll let it see if it make sure we got it all good and dry. All right, so that's it for our peppers. It took, let's see, we put it in at noon, around noon, so it took a little over 10 hours, almost 10 and a half hours before we finished it up and dehydrated. We'll be able to use those peppers in soups and stews and chilies, eggs, whatever we want to put them in. Be sure and check out our other videos on Trails End 62. Till next time, from my house to your house. God bless.